All right. Well, welcome back. Our last podcast of the season. Welcome to Not for Sunday Mornings. I'm your host, Chris, and I'm here with my co-host,
Steve. Co-host. That's not a co-host.
We
your
co-host.
guest.
No. This is not mine. This is ours.
Yours.
This is ours.
The last one.
It is.
11 weeks.
It's been a long one.
Been the longest we've ever done.
It was good though.
Yeah, it was.
I enjoyed this series. No, I mean, like, I really enjoyed the series. It was hard. It was a good challenge.
You all enjoyed the series. Yeah, I enjoyed the series. I think it was a tough. Every week was a challenge. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was hard because we don't normally talk about people. We talk about ideas,
and
so it made it an interesting summer. And so anyway, so last one was Esther. You had it.
I did.
How'd you like it?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't.
At
first, I didn't. It was really hard at first, especially with that first story of the queen, and yeah, it was rough.
Just the whole story in general is a difficult
tough story.
one.
Yeah. But I think once you dig in a little bit, and I learned a whole lot, and I thought it was fun. It was a fun message, and I think people enjoyed it. And
good.
Yeah, they didn't too late.
Too bad. Yeah.
Don't listen to it.
We'd give them their money back, but we didn't charge them either.
No,
so.
that's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah.
I thought it went really well, actually.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk more about my favorite part later, but I enjoyed the tie-in. I thought it was really interesting, the tie-in. When you came to me originally about, like, I think I'm going to do this, and you gave me the idea of talking about God's providence, like, and then me going back and thinking over the story, and like, it's really an interesting take on the story. Like, I don't think it's like, I don't think that's a surface level idea. And so the fact that you brought that out of there and that you saw that as kind of your thesis, I thought was
thesis, man.
Yeah, I know, big word. Sorry.
Wow.
I thought that I liked that. That was really my favorite part, was like how you just made that about it, and the tie too. Like, it was beautifully tied to the last several sermons in terms of how things work and show, and really, which is beautiful because it shows the interconnectedness of the Bible, you know, and that the stories and the themes may be slightly different, but there's big picture ideas that don't change no matter what part you're reading.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It was cool. It was fun. I'm glad we did this series. I mean, you do something. It's like Revelation. You do something for 10 weeks or whatever, and you get kind of like,
and you're glad it's done when it's done.
Yeah,
you know?
kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's a little sad, like, because it has been fun for me personally. I don't know, people have enjoyed it, but it's been fun for me and to learn. And I don't know.
I did. I honestly, like, it was a good challenge, and there were some that were way harder than others, and but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Me too.
So.
Me too.
All right, what'd you leave out?
Lots of stuff. First of all, the way I ended, I wanted to originally end. One of my favorite stories is found in Jeremiah chapter 38, I think it is, or 35. I think it's 38, where I could look. I have a Bible here, but I'll just tell the story. So he's always getting in trouble with the rulers and whatnot because he's a troublemaker, in a good way. And so it is 38, I think. Yeah, 38. Oh, it's such a great story. So he gets thrown into the cistern, and the way the scripture reads it is, it says, and so they took Jeremiah, this is 38:6. They took Jeremiah and cast him into the cistern, which was in the court of the guard, letting Jeremiah down by the ropes. And there was no water in the cistern, but only mud, and Jeremiah sank in the mud. I've always loved that last little part, that here he is stuck in the middle of this well and just sinking in the mud. And while he's in the well, unbeknownst to him, there's a slave who goes on his behalf to the king and pleads his case, and then they rescue him. They pull him out of the cistern. But if you're Jeremiah, you're in the middle of all that. You have no idea that's happening, and you're just sinking in the mud. And for me, like, it's a reminder that, again, God's providence, that what we see, even when we don't see God at work, He is at work, and this was all happening above him. And that's a beautiful thing too. He's down and this is above, and God's working above, and like, so it's just a neat. So I really wanted to finish with that story, because I really, really personally love that story. I think I've told it before, but I felt like if I finished with that, I was adding another layer, another story to a story.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I understand. Yeah.
And it was like, so it just didn't. And then that song kept bothering me all week long that I got to sing. And so I thought we'll just kind of tie it back in with that and have some fun there. But I really wanted to finish with the Jeremiah story. But
it's a good story. And you're right. It's a good example of providence.
yeah, it's wild. That's why he's sinking in the mud. And then it's just crazy to me. That story is so crazy.
Well,
So, good reminder. So that was one thing I left out. I didn't talk a whole lot about Purim. That's the Jewish festival, and that happens on the 14th day of either February or March, based on our calendar.
Yeah.
And it really is. I've got some notes here. A full-out celebration. I mean, they wear costumes, they feast, they give gifts. When they read the book of Esther, they read it twice, once at night, once in the morning. And each time Haman's name is mentioned, they boo, and the kids have these noisemakers they spin.
Yeah.
And then they eat this food. And I really wanted to get these. I was going to try to, this is early in the week, I was going to try to give one to every person in the crowd. But when you give out food, people get real funny because of allergies. So these things are called, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but they're called Haman's ears is what what the word they use. And they're like these sweet pastry little triangle things with fruit in the inside. And they call them Haman's ears, which I think is so awesome. Like, and what's neat about it is it's not just the story. It reminds me that the story isn't just ancient history, but it's a living reminder to stand against oppression today, because there is the Jewish people are oppressed in that story, and God's at work behind the scenes. So
it would have been funny if like Andy Kaufman, you just took the whole group and,
I
and busted out front, let's go.
Your kids will be fine. So
for you young ones out there, Andy Kaufman was a comedian and took people
First
for
of all,
cookies.
We have no young ones listening to this, so don't worry.
I think my kids listen every once in a while.
They do not. They do not.
If mom listens, maybe.
Yeah. The second thing, I talked a little bit about Esther being a comedy. I just hinted at it.
Sure.
But it really is a satire. Haman's over-the-top ego, the king's cluelessness. It's really slapsticky. And so ancient cultures loved roasting pompous officials. And so what's funny about this story is that when people would have been reading the story, at this point they would have known how broke the king was, because he would have already lost all that stuff. And so when they're reading the story to read about how opulent the king is and everything is, they're just mocking him. They're making fun of him. And I thought that was kind of cool. And that humor wasn't accidental, it was intentional.
Sure.
Same with leaving out God. I think that was a clear choice by the author to not put God in there.
Oh, yeah, and I think that lends itself directly to that idea of providence, because when providence is around, we don't see God doing the work in the background, and so yeah.
And also, Martin Luther hated this book.
Oh yes, I did know that he did not believe it belonged in
the Bible.
In the Bible at all.
Nope. He said it's too Jewish, and there's no mention of God, and so.
Yep. Yeah. That's his opinion.
He's an idiot. I'm kidding. Kidding.
So I love that you recognize it as satire too, because again, it goes back to people don't realize how funny the Bible really is. I know. And Jonah, which is we did not do Jonah.
No, we can't go into Jonah now.
No, we're not going to. But it is one of the it is a Saturday Night Live skit when you read it, and it's so funny, and so, yeah, I would love that's a full series on its own.
It is
like
it is.
There's so much to unpack in that one book. But
in fact, one of my favorite speakers, Tim Mackey, he does the Bible.
Oh, he does an amazing job with it. Yes.
He does I think it's like an 8-week series.
Yes,
and it is.
It was so good. I
would never do it because I would just steal all his stuff.
I know.
I would just play his video.
Good. He was so good about it. But yes.
Yeah, so it's like I can't touch that.
It's hard though when he's an ancient Hebrew Bible scholar. Like he knows it all.
I know, he's so good though.
But he is very good. And he does a really good. Yeah. So don't listen to us about Jonah. Just go find Tim Mackey and listen to his.
Honestly, it's so good.
I've listened to it multiple times because it's.
And it really is like 8 weeks or something. It's
long.
Weeks.
It's like 4 to 6 or something like that.
He walks through the whole thing. So it's really cool. Okay, so back to the story.
Yeah. So what else do you leave?
The fact that Haman or Mordecai didn't bow to Haman, that wasn't a Jewish rule law. Like he could have bowed to him, and that wasn't going to be the end of the world stuff. But as I was studying, Haman was an Amalekite, and that was Israel's sworn enemy for generations. And so Mordecai wasn't just being petty, but he was taking a theological stance because King Saul spared the Amalekites, and he wasn't supposed to. And so, Mordecai was like, I'm not going to even go there. So, and I think also Mordecai knew that the stakes were eternal because you killed the Jews, and that would have ended the Messianic promise.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there was a moment where he's going to stand up for the Jews and against this sworn enemy. And so he doesn't bow down to Haman. And Haman's reaction, I think, is just so... There's so many favorite parts of the story, but where he comes back after hearing about the dinner he's going to have with the king and the queen, and he's just on cloud nine. And that was the other thing for this week. There was I almost called you on Saturday because I had so much... I rewrote the story in my own words, and there was still... It took up a majority of this... And I had to cut so much out because there's so much in there. I mean, and I'm like, I got to the application. I'm already at 3,500 words. And it's like, oh my Lordy, I'm in trouble here. So I felt like I rushed through some of that. But anyways, that's so cool. Haman comes back from all that and he's just on fire, right? He got all this. The scripture says I got this and I got this and I got this. And then he says, but none of that matters because stupid Mordecai will not bow down to me anymore. And that is still, he has everything.
Yeah.
He's the number 2 guy in the kingdom. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's it. But because Mordecai, he was like, I can't get over that. I can't. Man, that's wild to me. That's wild to me. That's wild to me.
It is. No, I agree.
But I think that goes to pride. So I think, and that was one of the things that early in the week was going to be the direction I went. Was we're going to talk about pride because this is a pride. There's a pride story. I mean, really, his thing is all about pride. I mean, it really.
Yeah, there's several themes in here that you could easily latch onto. I didn't see you bring your packet of notes that was like this thick.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't get to this much information.
Seriously, I had 40 pages of notes that I didn't even. I read through to be inspired, but I really didn't. I
was actually surprised because I think I came in Saturday and you had the entire counter in the office spread out, and the first thing that hit me is I'm like, he actually prints his notes I was actually impressed by that because
I do because what I do, that's another insider thing is I have to visualize it. So sometimes I'll even cut them up into sections for a puzzle. I'll put them in this.
Okay, yeah.
Just so I'm trying to see a flow, and if it flows well or not. So that helps. It's a dumb thing, and don't tell Kim, I waste a lot of paper. Yeah.
Thank goodness she doesn't listen.
Nah, she doesn't listen. Don't even do this. So I talk about pride, though. William Barclay said, "Pride is the ground in which all other sins grow." And this other quote was, "Pride makes everyone else sick except for the one who has it." And I think the effects of pride are so damaging, and you see it here in his life. I mean, it destroys him. I mean, he's so full of himself, and
yeah, it's one of the hardest sins to get over, too, I think.
Why is that?
Well, I think because it's that sense of pride that I'm better, I'm good, I'm the best kind of thing. And even when you attempt to get over it, I think there's that little linger of I was able to beat this. There's still that pride. The I in pride is the biggest thing, right? Because it's always about me. And so I was able to overcome my pride. It's hard to even say I came. There's no humble way of saying that. That I got over this, or I was able. I know we can say Christ worked through us and did that, but there's just always that little linger. I think that makes it hard to be fully rid of it as a thing.
I think Rick Warren says what pride isn't thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. Right? So it's not. Yes. You're not about
yes.
I'm this horrible person.
No, it's not a put down thing. Yeah, it's that you're always the center, or that mass thing. So so I think it's one of the hardest. Did you? I saw that Barclay quote somewhere. Did you show it to me before today?
No, I don't think so.
I want to say I read something about that. That's weird. Okay, anyways.
Yeah, Uncle Tony at the pizza place I used to work at used to sing this song. He was like, "Lord, it's so hard to be humble. You're perfect in every way."
It's an old country song. I remember that one. Yeah.
I remember all the verses. It was so good, though. He used to sing it every morning. Man, I miss Uncle Tony. Okay, one things I did two the two last things I left out was there is additions to Esther. So in the Septuagint, so the Greek Old Testament, there's 6 extra sections that are not in the Hebrew Bible. And so there's like a Mordecai's dream, a Haman's edict. There's a bunch. I'm not going to list them all here. And the Roman Catholic's Bible placed them in the story. Protestants' Bible put them in the Apocrypha.
Okay, yeah.
And these additions, they're all about mentioning God and prayer, and they really add God back into the story.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think,
I get
I think they're getting a little like, we got to make sure God's in here, and so they dump those in there. And
so in the Apocrypha, what book is it?
I don't know.
Do you know?
I don't know. It just says here it's listed in there.
Okay,
So.
I believe it. I didn't know if they would call it Esther 2, The Reckoning, or something.
back with a vengeance. And then the last thing I left out.
God shows up.
Yeah. He's here. Surprise. I didn't talk about the end of the story where after Haman is killed, then Esther goes back to the king and she's like, hey, you got this edict out there and that says in a year the Jews are all going to die. And you can't take back an edict. So what are you going to do here? And so he issues another one that says the Jews can defend themselves, and it's a whole thing. And then the Jews end up killing a bunch of people. And it's kind of a rough ending, except when you dig in a little bit more. And so the Jews were vastly outnumbered. It was 15 million Jews to 100 million Persians. And chapter 9, it makes it very clear the Jews only fought those who attacked and killed only men and didn't take the loot. Because the decree said they could kill and they could take the loot, and they didn't. And so in the capital alone, 800 attackers were killed. In the total empire-wide, 75,000 were killed. Yeah. And so anti-Semitism was alive in Persia.
Sure,
People were willing to die just to kill the Jews. And so this allowed the Jews to defend themselves in that moment and gave them the power to do that. And so, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. It's a little twist on the story.
Yeah. Yeah. A little something. So for me, I loved it because it showed the story as a whole. It showed me that God is still in control, and even when we don't see it or feel it. And for me, I've had some awesome conversations the last 2 weeks with friends here at the church who are going through valleys, and the sermon came just at the right time for them. Again, that's nothing that we control.
Right? Yeah.
That's what's so absurd and so funny for me is like, in first service I mentioned this, second service I didn't, but like. Daniel and I, when Daniel was working full time here, we'd meet and go through all the songs. It was a whole thing, right? And we don't do that anymore because of his part timeness. And so they pick songs out like a month or 2 months before. I think I don't know.
At least 1 or 2 months. Right. Like I think we're planning 6 weeks out.
And I never really look at the songs because I don't. I mean, whatever. I trust him completely.
Right.
So that Sunday morning, I'm in the crowd, and like every song is about God's providence and about God is so good. The second song was like the goodness of God. In fact, I'm like, wow, how am I going to sing about God's goodness? They're just singing it.
I know.
But for me, it was so neat because it showed that God is at work even when we don't see it. And I mean, he set that stuff in motion months before we even, and I mean, and even that week I was wrestling with the direction of the sermon. So it wasn't like we're going to talk about pride. And then it was like, no, it's God's providence, so it's like, it's just a neat way for me, like how God is at work even when we don't see him. And so back to people coming up every week, the last couple of weeks have been really neat to see people in really hard situations and finding hope in the scriptures and hope in these stories and being reminded that God is still at work, even when we don't feel it, even when it's terrible, and not to diminish the terribleness, but just know that we're not alone in that. And so for me, that's the hope of these stories. And I hope that people took that away from the last 10 weeks.
Well, I think it's interesting too, like the last 3 weeks have really been looking at those hopeless moments, and like the stories just lended themselves to those things. And it was funny because when I did Elijah, I think you were out of town that week, and I went up to one of the singers after service was over, and I'm like, man, those songs just kind of hit in that similar, like what you said, like they were just in that theme, and that was, I don't even think I was in the meeting that decided those songs, and so they weren't even on my mind in terms of what they were. And it's like when you start to get into those lyrics, and there's just things that are being written in those lyrics that just match and hit, in the right spot.
It's wild.
It is. I 100% agree with that.
And it's funny because I think if somebody was paying attention in the crowd and like could see all that, they would think, oh, they planned all this, and it was like strategically we're going to sing these. And honestly, I'm telling you, we get more lucky than good.
I know.
Like,
Well,
we're not that good.
and because you're not part of these meetings, but we've had those conversations of, is it important to line them up and
Right.
or not, and the general consensus in the worship team is no, it's not.
Trust God.
Yeah, we're going to sing the songs we're going to sing. They're going to preach. There's no reason that they need to align to each other.
Plus,
but
Steve is not 3 months ahead of his sermons, and you think you think he knows what he's going to talk about? I mean,
sometimes I'm not 3 days ahead of my sermon.
here's the big topic. I know we're going to talk about Christmas and Christmas time.
We're going to talk about Christmas?
At Christmas time.
That's good.
That's the one thing.
That's the one, like, constant. That's not true. We do have themes that we hit on certain
Thanksgiving
points.
every November.
Every November, and
Giving.
Christmas is always, and Easter is always Easter, and so, but we do take different spins on it. So Easter is the one that kind of is a little flexible, but
Easter's
still,
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas is fun too, but
they're all fun. It's
they're
a
all
fun
great.
summer.
They're all
Yeah,
great. Yeah, the Bible's remarkable, and there's always a moment of, like, at the beginning of the week where you have the blank page, you're like, oh God, oh God, oh God, and you just beg God, show up.
Oh, 100%. I
'Cause
can't tell
I-
you on, like, the last one I wrote, I couldn't tell you how much extra stuff I read and watched and just was like drawing a blank the entire time. I'm like, I cannot believe this one.
And for me, the next series we're going into is like it's a special series, and I don't want to tip it off a little bit, but like it's very topical, and that's something I don't like to do because
No, you don't. No,
because for me, because I like
you're a storyteller, and
I like having a roadmap. Give me my boundaries. Like, here are your 2 verses you can preach on, and I can go to town. Let's have some fun. But when it's like wide open, like take anything in the Bible, that's just overwhelming, and I just get lost.
that reminded me, like, we had that one series where we did one verse, and we broke that one verse.
Yeah, the one word.
I had like 3 words or something. It was.
I love it. Remember we did the short walk through a long walk.
Oh,
through short
you
books?
used to do those, yeah.
We did like 4 years of those.
I know.
I love those. Those are fun.
Those were fun, and there's a few more that we still need to get through. I think.
Yeah, but
for
they're
that
just
one.
neat and different. And for me, that gives me guardrails. Just the way my mind works, I need like that. So like this next series will be challenging because it's kind of like wide open a little bit. And
It is, and you're doing the whole thing on your own.
No,
No, you're
no.
not. That's right.
I got a
You got
couple
a couple. That's right.
Daniel's
That's right.
doing 2, I think, in the middle of somewhere up there.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm doing most of them though. Yeah, most of them. So I guess we'll tell people. So at Easter, people that listen, at Easter we did this really cool thing with rocks where we had people write on rocks things that get in the way of their relationship with God.
Yep.
Like fears and control and all these different words. Really, whatever words they wanted. And then they dropped those rocks off, and they picked up a clean white rock when they left that day. And I've heard stories that people have these white rocks like in their
Oh,
houses.
it's literally
and-
sitting on my counter
That's
right
really
now. Yeah.
kind of cool, So, but what people don't know, and this was not, again, not intentional, because I'm an idiot, but we collected all those rocks, and then I was like, well,
What do we do with these?
Well, because I'm always wondering what does a church need to hear from the Bible?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I got all this data. So I categorized all the rocks, listed them, all the words that had shame and fear, and whatever the words were. I made a whole spreadsheet of all these words. And then like the top, I think it's the top 7 or 8 of them, this is going to be this next series are going to be those topics. And we're calling the series The Rocks Cried Out because I think it's a cool, and we got this really cool art project we're working on that I don't think is going to work out, but it might, where we've taken the rocks and we've like poured white paint over them to show like, Jesus washing them and blah, blah, blah. But it could be really cool. But even if it's not, I think the idea of like, here are people's.
Well, these are people's issues, like things they struggle with.
Yeah.
And so I think, it's it's topical, yes, but it's relevant to the lives that we're having. Just like these last three being on Valley and God working in the background and God being there, it's all relevant.
Yeah,
It's just some are easier to write than others for sure.
Yeah.
So.
And this week is worry. So we're going to talk about worry, and it'll be fun. It'll be neat. I think I have a neat little angle that I feel pretty good about. So, but yeah, we'll see. So,
Can we get a little nerdy for a minute? I know you don't like.
yeah,
to
I'm
often.
done with all I got.
Okay.
I'm pretty much checked out of the podcast now.
Because your Celsius is empty.
11 weeks.
It's the last one. You're done.
I'll be back.
So one thing I really wanted to talk about, because I geek out on this kind of stuff. So you talked about God being fully involved? What were your words again? I forget how
God
that
has
one goes.
nothing to do with everything. God has everything to do with everything. God has something to do with everything.
Okay, so I
And
love
those are words from our boy. What's his name?
Maggie. I don't know. who.
No, come on, our Cantrell, Jack Cantrell.
Oh, Jack Cantrell. Oh, is that out of his book on theology?
I don't know if he uses those words directly, but
I think you're right. I think I've read those before. Now that you
I don't know.
mentioned
Yeah, I
that.
don't know if he used those, but yeah, his book on theology. Yeah.
Okay, another good author to read, Jack Cantrell. He's got some good stuff.
Wanna
He's
fall
got good
asleep.
insight.
Super wordy.
And that is why ChatGPT exists.
Come on. Oh Lord.
Tell me what this means in 10 words or less.
Okay.
So anyways, so for a lot of people, they don't necessarily know that those correspond to big theological concepts and ideas, right? So the God has everything to do with everything is the idea of Calvinism. The God has something to do with everything is what we call Arminianism. And then God has, what's the third one?
Nothing to do with everything.
Has nothing to do with everything?
We call that nihilism.
Is it really nothing to do with everything?
Yeah.
Oh, so
the
okay.
watchmaker that he set the clock.
Oh, the blind watchmaker. Yes. Okay,
said
you're
it
right.
got
You're
out of
right.
the way.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So nihilism.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
pretty much.
There's actually a fourth one.
Mormon,
that's
or what'd you call it?
Molinism.
Molinism.
Molinism. It's a blending of Arminianism
sounds
and
like a
Calvinism. They all sound like diseases.
I got this Molinism I need you to look at.
But it's an interesting idea and thought because our particular church doesn't prescribe to one direction or another. We struggle with it, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
What? You don't think so?
I think if you talk about Christian churches is Arminianism. It's not Calvinistic.
Oh, it's not Calvinistic, but
yeah, I would say
no. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I apologize. I didn't phrase that the right way.
Yeah.
I think.
I think in the church ourselves we wrestle with a lot.
We do. Yes,
and that's good.
And it is good. But yeah, you're right. I misspoke that. So we do lean Arminian in that regard, and we do have Calvinists here, and it's a good challenge to look at that.
It's nice to be around somebody that's always wrong.
That's okay because I take the middle ground approach too. Like
I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm really just kidding. I'm in trouble.
That's okay because they don't listen to us anyways. I know for a fact they don't listen to us.
Oh God, help me.
Except for this Sunday, we'll find out that they do. No, but so in studying theology and looking at these, like I have like the middle ground kind of idea of Molinism a little bit, and so it's not that nihilistic idea that God has nothing to do with anything. It's that God is so in tune with everything that He can allow for free will to exist, but everything's set up for that free will to ultimately end up with the ultimate good.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a fun idea. Like they do get wordy. It does get philosophical and theological, but they're fun ideas to talk about.
But you see that when Mordecai was like, here's what he says in chapter 4 when he's going at Esther. He says, "For if you keep silent at this time," this is verse 4:14, "relief and deliverance will rise for the Jews from another place." He says, it's good because he knows the end of the story, and so he says, if you're not going to be the one to do this, it's going to come from somewhere.
Yep.
You're probably going to die because you're not going to do this. But like he was so sure that because the promises to Abraham, the covenant, he was so sure like God's not going to stop this plan because of some crazy king. And for me, I think first service, I treaded a little bit, and I try to stay away from politics because I really am not one side or the other.
No, right.
But like when you have a mad king, like they had there, it's really easy to get lost, and like the king has all the power and they control. And we can look at that with politics here, like when we have a president, either left or right.
Right.
Look, they're making all these laws and they're passing all this, and we can think that trumps God, and it doesn't. It doesn't. It's impossible. It doesn't. And so it's frustrating at some points because we get all worked up and all angry and all tensed up, and we forget that God is in control.
Right, and that's why I really like the idea of Molinism that marries the two, because I think it presents that idea that the ultimate good is already going to happen, and everyone, and the best outcome is
what already happened.
Right. Well, right.
Christ, we're right with God.
But the best outcome for everybody is involved.
Yeah.
In that. And so So yeah, it was when you brought it up and when you shared those ideas with me, that's where my wheel started turning and you got into my wheelhouse a little bit on that. So it's kind of fun.
I think it's that process of we're already not yet. Like new creation has begun, and so is it where it needs going to be? No, but we're in that process, and when we lose sight of that, I don't know. For me, that's just a hopeful moment of like when things are dark, when things are sad, when things are. But it's already over.
It's already, the victory's been won, and so we're moving on, and we're just kind of living in this moment now with just bated breath almost.
Yeah.
So what else you got? Anything?
I'm out.
You're out. Like, well, this is your last one, and you're always happy when we get to the final.
I'm sad.
I know you say you're sad, but
I'm happy for the production side of things. But I'm sad for the
end of the conversation.
Yeah, because I enjoy talking with you, and it was fun. This time was fun because we actually had a few comments back and forth with people on the watching. So
we did.
So our numbers are what they are. So, but we're not doing it for a crowd. So.
No, we're doing it because
you told me I had to.
You're, in all honesty,
that's my boss. I have to listen to you. Because I would not be here. I'm kidding.
In all honesty, your wife wants you to do this full time with me.
Oh, so. Yeah, I'm sure she does. She doesn't even listen to this. She never even listens.
I'm just telling you what she's told me. She's like, oh, he should do it more often.
You are such a liar.
Oh, okay, then go home and ask her.
I'm going to. You are such a liar.
Okay.
You are beyond. You are.
We also know that she likes my preaching better than yours.
Yeah, of course. Because she used to listen to me all the time. So I like everybody's preaching better than mine. So.
That's the same here, so it doesn't matter.
It's all good. So.
All right.
You know what time it is?
I do. I've got it pulled up. The last one.
And final one.
I'm going to read my little script here.
You'll never have to hear this song again. Here we go. Let's go.
In the ancient scrolls, a name appears so sleek.
We should have made shirts with this on it.
The Melchizedek. We should misspell it every different way possible.
No father, no mother.
That'll be the next year's shirt.
No, because I am never doing a Melchizedek moment ever again. The next time I talk about Melchizedek will be when I teach my Hebrews class, and that's about it.
All right, so for our final
final. All right, so here's what I got. So it shows up 3 verses in Genesis. He's one of the most theologically rich figures in the Bible. He is the king of Salem, the priest of God Most High. He blesses Abraham after he rescues Lot.
Are you just recapping everything you talked about last
because
time?
Nobody else listened. Then he disappears. No genealogy, no backstory. No, I'm. This is the last one. Give me a minute here. No backstory, and then he died notes. The psalmist later calls the Messiah a priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. Psalm 110.
Okay.
4.
This is straight ChatGPT.
Yep. It is. And the author of Hebrews picks up that to show how Jesus' priesthood is eternal and unbound by the Levitical system. But here's the connection. God's plan to send a savior who is both king and priest wasn't improvised. It was embedded in the story from Genesis forward.
There you go.
Melchizedek is like a shadow cast by a figure that you won't fully see until Christ steps into history. It's a reminder that the Bible's threads run deep, and sometimes the smallest details are part of the biggest picture.
Very good. That was neat. That was very good. Very good. Very clever. that was a good.
The last final one. Final one. All right. So. We do have one more thing to talk about.
Yeah, we have new shirts coming out.
No, we don't. We already got it.
We got in trouble for
shirts. Didn't get in trouble, but
the shirts were a joke.
Somebody who says that they really enjoy beginning podcasts did not offer any helpful advice except for why are we selling merch already? Which I agree with the question. Like the premise is a great idea of
it was a joke.
We have 5 people listening.
And it was a joke.
Yeah. No, I know it was
because the first batch went out.
They're all messed up. I gotta email them still and say, hey, this one's messed up.
And seriously, we make $0 off those shirts.
No, but they're fun.
I don't know who makes the money off it. I think the shirt company makes
probably.
Off the shirt.
But they're fun.
They're cool.
Yeah.
We should have done a Melchizedek moment one.
That's all right.
Dang it.
Well,
missed that boat.
Yeah. So what's our big announcement? Do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
This is your announcement. I mean, this is like our podcast empire is expanding under the Not for Sunday brand.
So
and we are happy to introduce Chris's new solo podcast.
Yeah, so
Conversations with Chris.
no, it's not Conversation with Chris.
That is a good name.
I know, but you get to name everything, and so I'm naming.
Okay,
this
so
one.
let's see. What's Chris's name of his? So Chris starting a new podcast.
Okay, so let's rewind a little bit. Last year we ended and we said, oh, let's talk about doing some more, and we kind of made a networky idea, and then.
Let that die in the vine.
And let it die on the vine. We really did. It did not go anywhere. And
We're learning. As
we were, and there was high hopes of like, it's hard to figure out an idea of what to do on a podcast. Like in all reality, like it's if we just sat here and just had a conversation and we're just recording it, cool. Nobody listens anyways, right?
No,
This is more for us than it is for anyone
probably
else.
getting explicit rating.
But I loved doing this, and I'm like, I want to see if we can keep going. And so it died on the vine last year, but this year, I've already recorded episode 00.
Yep.
And I believe my intent is September.
Okay.
We'll be releasing our fall podcast.
Oh, and we're calling this one.
This one is called Let's Make Sense of It.
And sense is spelled CENTS.
No, it's not. So it's not a money podcast. I know you want me to talk about tithing, so you don't. But
I'll talk about tithing every day. I love talking about money. Making
sense of it. Yeah, and so
it's like things in the world, making sense of what we see.
making sense of Christianity.
Okay.
And really hitting some of the ideas that maybe we struggle with a little bit. So we're gonna start. You and I are going to do the first one together. This is really going to be more of a solo one, but you and I are going to do the first one together.
I just found out about that right now.
That's not true because I emailed you.
When? You never emailed me.
I did too. Last week I sent you the outline of what.
What?
Yeah.
No,
you
did not.
You better go back and look.
You did not. I guarantee.
I did. I shared it with you. It's in my Google Drive.
You shared with me a file. Yeah, that was just like your whatever that
it says
was.
co-host on there.
Episode 1 you shared.
Yeah.
Why theology co-host outline. Oh, I didn't even open this.
I knew it.
I don't know what this even was.
Surprise!
Oh wow!
That's your
I am.
present. Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing a podcast with Chris. Awesome.
Something new. We've never done this before.
I thought it was the last one. Okay. Okay. This will be fun.
It'll be fun. So first one we're going to talk
this?
about is you got to come with some of your notes.
Lordy.
Yeah, some thoughts.
Okay.
But
this one's only going to be audio only.
this is going to be so a couple format changes. Audio only.
That's what we did last week. It was a test.
Yeah.
I forgot to hit record. I think. Or
a test of does Steve listen when Chris asks a question?
Is it recording? Yeah, it's recording. I think it was though. I got the new.
Yeah,
update.
I know. That's what you said.
Though.
I trust you. I
Anyways,
believe it.
I don't know.
I believe you.
This one is recording. I hope.
So we're gonna hit some ideas of a variety of topics. Discipleship's gonna be one. What happens when kind of like what we've been talking these last 3 weeks. But what happens when faith feels pointless?
Yeah.
Is the Bible still relevant today? How do we know what to take literally in the Bible? One of my favorite ones that I came up with was Jesus didn't come to make you nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does God actually speak? What do we do with doubts? This one I hope is a good one. The church hurt me. Now what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that you're going to do the first one with me, but that was one I was hoping that maybe we can get together on too.
Yeah.
Because you got some good stories with that. And then the last one is how the Old Testament points to Jesus, which was what we've really been doing this whole summer.
Yep. So if you like Chris's dulcet tones,
the dulcet tones of Chris
Bachman,
Bachman.
he'll be coming to you live in your feed. We don't know the feed yet. We're figuring that part out.
Yeah, we still have a month.
Yeah, we'll figure that part out.
Half a month.
So it might come through this feed, or might be a new feed, but we'll promote it everywhere.
Yeah.
It'll be everything.
You'll know.
We'll see what this all becomes. So.
Yep. And the goal is a springtime one too.
Yeah, maybe with some other people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it won't be me, it won't be you, but I've already put a bug in their ear, and hopefully we get it going.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
So for those 2 of you that are listening right now, the one of you,
you made it.
You made it all the way through this one, and we have more stuff to bore you with later.
Not bore.
Oh, entertain.
Not entertain either, but yeah.
Edify.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You ready?
Well, thank you very much for listening this season, and we'll see you again next season.
Love you guys. Thanks.
It's Chris and Steve with the mic in hand, digging through truths that don't quite land. The bits and pieces that didn't get said, from the pulpit to the podcast instead.
I told you I wanted to.
Not for Sunday mornings, no halos here. We're breaking it down with a laugh and a cheer. Knowledge nuggets flying wild and free. Welcome to the chaos, grab your coffee. Dives into
Hibernate
the things
or whatever.
we
Not
missed.
hibernate.
A little offbeat with a thoughtful twist. From ancient scrolls to the latest scene. Unpack